This is a clip from an earlier live stream. I know you're going to like it, so the link to the full video is down below. Check it out. I'll see you over there.
Yeah, but Ericka Kirk ended up succeeding and becoming the CEO of TPUSA, and she has legitimized every single position in TPUSA from her perspective, and you're saying, no, that can't happen. Therefore, Ericka Kirk has to be involved somehow. If that can't happen, and the CEO is not capable of following through with his succession, I don't know, being his freaking wife, that probably knows a hell of a lot more about the succession than you do, you're sitting there and telling us that she is behind a lot of this stuff with TPUSA. There's no other way around it. Whether she's unwillingly just dumb and following them, so therefore she's part of it anyway, unwillingly, which I don't believe for a second. I don't think she's dumb. Or she's being held hostage against her will. I guess that's a possibility, right? But that would be even more likely than what you're suggesting, that Ericka's just dumb. Or she's actually in on it fully. Which one is it, Candace? It has to be one of those three, because she can't just be, like, innocent in this, and then at the same time be the CEO of TPUSA when you're sitting there saying TPUSA betrayed him. Why are you saying... So are you telling me the context of him being betrayed is that they're just taking TPUSA into a different direction? And that it's not related to the end of Charlie Kirk, even though you constantly going, I'm just asking questions. I'm just trying to find out who actually did it. Well, then if you're trying to figure out who actually did it, maybe you should separate it from TPUSA completely and say, hey, they have had nothing to do with it. I don't see any reason why they would have had anything to do with it. But instead, you're like, well, TPUSA's covering this up. This is a cover-up. What do you think a cover-up means? If they are covering it up, Candace, they are guilty of murder. They can't cover this up and not be guilty of that, Candace. You are trying so hard to walk this back. And it's not going well for you. It's absolutely not going well for you at all. So anyway, she's talking about stuff like this too.
Point. It's really interesting to consider that. Turning Point suddenly got super de-duper faithful.
Really? So they did it. Not Charlie? Weird. Because guess who else was getting super de-duper faithful, Candace? Charlie as well. So you're also calling Charlie Kirk a moron.
With what I would say is an interesting cast of characters. The wrong characters. Okay,
oh, really?
Rob McCoy leading that front.
I love how it's the wrong characters because Charlie's not smart enough to be able to pick them for himself.
Frontier, as we know, what people don't know publicly is that Lance Wallnau was working with him. Okay, he was intimately involved, and more importantly, he was financially involved. Sources within Turning Point's faith department tell me that Lance was running the show behind the scenes through funding.
This is another thing, and I'm just going to jump in real quick. I know Artie Trolls is probably going to say it as well. Why does nobody hold Candace's feet to the fire and say, show us your evidence before we believe what you're saying? Like, why did she just said sources within TP Faith told her? Who are these sources? When did they start? When did they leave? Are they still there? How do they know? Like, where's the evidence to this? Why are we getting all of this information from Candace and literally Candace only? Now, she showed us all the stuff that Lance Wallnau, and I agree, Lance Wallnau is a wackadoodle, but you haven't shown me anything that he's related to this at all. Not a bit. No org chart. No, I looked on TP Faith's page. I don't see his face on there. So how do you know these things? How do you know these things? You got to show us some evidence.
He put a ton of money into Turning Point USA faith operations. Now, I guess a better way for me to state this, because I want to be super clear here, is that Lance Wallnau, who is from a military family,
military people,
who is saying that he believes in infiltration.
Just all military families now.
Everybody
Nobody can have a military
grace.
family without being weird anymore, including
as a
Mr.
means
Beast.
to climb
She calls
mountains
him out.
and overtake society.
Wild, right?
However, he just described that.
Okay, anyway, so all that garbage claim, that literally, I mean, she is quite literally trying to destroy Charlie's life work. This is where he wanted it to go. And he was very vocal about it. He was very, very vocal that his faith came first, Candace. So don't you think it would be the same way with his business? This is getting completely and totally ridiculous. Now, Megyn Kelly is refuting Ben Shapiro's claim on Candace Owens' Charlie Kirk accusations. So let's listen to this, because now Candace is praising this as well.
He said that Candace has been claiming Ericka Kirk was behind the murder of Charlie, which I had not heard. And I was taken aback because that seems like something I would have heard. It's so crazy. And I have.
Well, have you heard her literally pointing the finger at TPUSA? And did you know that his wife is the CEO of TPUSA? I mean, it's crazy to sit there and think that somehow TPUSA can do all this stuff, but somehow the CEO just isn't a part of it. That's a little far-fetched to me, Megyn.
Since learned it is not true. Candace has not made that claim. And
Really?
in fact, I've now seen several clips of Candace specifically defending Ericka.
So if I blame Starbucks for being absolutely garbage and, having all their insane left-wing ideologies that they do and, doing all the crazy crap they do, right? We all know what Starbucks does, okay? With their baristas and whatnot. Are we saying that the CEO is not responsible for that then? That it's not the CEO's fault whatsoever? That the CEO has absolutely nothing to do with how crappily left-wing Starbucks is? That's interesting.
Kirk, and saying she would never make a claim like that about Ericka, and that she is open-minded to other people at Turning Point. That's obvious. She's been making that point. I had heard.
So only the lower level people in TPUSA. It can't be, once it gets up to a certain level of TPUSA, they're fine?
Right.
Do we only draw the line at CEO? I'm really genuinely curious.
At that point, but she's specifically been defending Ericka Kirk, and she's been saying she does not think that of Ericka. And in fact, if you read her comments, she's under pressure to make comments about Ericka. And so far, what I've seen, she hasn't. So thank.
It's just a.
Okay, I'm gonna stop Artie for a second too. I would love to ask Megyn. Megyn, why do you think people are attacking Ericka? Where do you and I know you say you don't watch the content, but why do you think people with working cerebral cortexes are attacking Ericka Kirk? What do you think brought that about? Do you think it just happened just by happenstance? Do you think a weird comet went by the sun? Like, why do you think that is? And where did they get that from? That's what I would ask. And she's gonna probably try to deflect, but I think we could all see and get her to the brass tacks of they're taking what Candace has said, or maybe even read to Megyn some statements that Candace has said. For example, everything in Charlie's life was fake. Everybody at TPUSA betrayed him. I'm the only friend that Charlie has. If somebody said that, do you think that would include his wife? Okay, so now let me ask you the next question. Where do you think they got it from? I think that question should be asked. And I'm sorry, Megyn Kelly is just wrong. She's wrong as two left shoes here. She should have stepped out of it. She should have left it alone. If she was going to, be this milquetoast mamsy pamsy, she should have said, I don't know. I don't have a comment on it, but I do believe she knows. I do believe she knows where it comes from. Sorry, I do believe she knows again. But this answer that she's giving is only providing duck and cover for Candace. It doesn't help Megyn at all. Matter of fact, I think it ruins Megyn's credibility, in my opinion.
A little weird. She knows she can't make comments about Ericka, not because she doesn't believe Ericka did it. Because in order for you to believe TPUSA was behind this, and in order for you to believe that the succession of people in TPUSA is incorrect, how in the world would Ericka end up in the highest possible position? That's the problem. And why wouldn't Ericka come out and say, hey, the diaries don't exist? It's interesting. She's made those claims, but Ericka would absolutely know for a fact that the succession is wrong. Because guess who would have been part of it? Guess who would have discussed it with Ericka? It would have been Charlie himself. Here's Candace interjecting herself into another marriage. She's done this multiple times. She did it with Steven Crowder. So that's insane. Here she is injecting herself into another marriage that she has no business being part of and saying, oh, well, Ericka's innocent, but the rest of TPUSA is guilty. However, Ericka is literally following the exact succession that Charlie Kirk has apparently laid out, while saying that Charlie Kirk never laid that out, but here's Ericka's wife actually literally contradicting that. How is that possible, Megyn? It cannot possibly make sense.
Thank you for that question.
I know you liked that episode. This is actually a clip from a larger live stream. The link is down in the description, so you can go check it out. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you down there. Grace and peace.